Welcome to Coffee and Popcorn, where we bring you the most striking stories from the world of Reddit and beyond. What do you do when you catch your wife having emotional affairs with guys she meets online? In today's story, we're going to find out how one Redditor handled this sticky situation.
I've known my wife since we were about 13. We weren't really close back then, but we got close by coincidence later on. We started dating when we were 16 and got married at 21. We have 2 kids together, our son, who's 5, and our daughter, who's 3. I'm the sole income earner, and I make good money for what I do. It's enough to live comfortably, support my family, save up, and take family holidays. Towards the end of last year, I was going through a lot of personal issues. I was laid off from work for about a month. After being laid off, I spent some time looking for a new job, relaxed, caught up with friends, and drank. I didn't do any over-the-top drinking, and I only drank at night when the kids were sleeping. And believe me when I say that me and my wife had a few arguments about all this. I eventually secured the job that I currently have, and due to my work schedule, I had to be up super early on New Year's Day. On New Year's Eve, we went to my wife's parents' house to see the fireworks. Our kids ended up falling asleep, so my wife decided to stay the night. I wasn't able to stay with them because of work, so I left around midnight once the celebrations were over. In the end, my wife didn't come home for 3 days, and I started to get the feeling that something was off. A couple weeks went by, and one night, when I got home from work and everyone was sleeping, I went to give my kids a goodnight kiss. On my walk back through the kitchen, my wife's phone lit up. I checked her phone and noticed an unusual notification. I proceeded to look into it. My wife had made a new account on her socials using a fake name and was talking to another guy. I went further down through the messages and saw that throughout December she'd been talking to him. And this wasn't a friendly conversation either. She was calling him babe and talking about how badly she wanted to be with him, how much she loved him, and even referred to me as her ex. I was furious. I even saw that on New Year's Day. She messaged him right after I left, saying stuff like, "Happy New Year's, babe. I love you so much." According to their messages, they had arguments about jealousy and had split up. Oh, I should also mention that this guy lives in another country. I confronted her about all this, and then she started with the tears. She said that she was sorry and all the typical nonsense you'd expect to hear. Stupid me forgave her, but the trust was broken. Regardless, at the end of the day, I loved her. I had girlfriends before her, but I've never loved anyone else. I mean, I literally grew up with her, got married, started a family, and everything else. So of course I forgave her. Fast forward a few months, and that sinking feeling was back. I started snooping and found out she was chatting with a new guy on Snapchat. She told him that she was single and didn't have any kids. This new guy lives on the other side of the country, a complete stranger. For some reason, I thought that it wasn't a big deal, so I left it till the next day, which is when I saw the other conversations she had with him. They were talking about how badly they wanted to be together, and how they wanted to be intimate. I don't want to go into detail, but the messages were extreme. She even sent him photos of herself in lingerie. I confronted her about it, and she swore that she'd stop speaking to him, end it, and block him on everything. Because I was going away for work the next day for a few days, I couldn't really get into all this with her. The next day, while we were speaking on the phone, I asked my wife if she blocked him after ending it. She swore to me that she did. When I get home a few days later, I told her about how much all this had irritated me, and how I couldn't trust her because she betrayed me again. I was fuming. I told her that I wanted a divorce and that I was done with her. I can't be with someone who constantly lies. She didn't even seem so fussed about me wanting out, but she didn't want me to leave because of the kids. I messaged the guy that my wife was chatting with, and she found out. She started crying because he was angry at her for lying to him. I found it weird that she didn't cry for me, her husband, and the father of her kids, but she cried for this guy? I packed my things and left. My wife told me that she loves me, but that she isn't in love with me. We have 2 kids together, and as stupid as it sounds, I'm still in love with her. I came back home after a month because I felt bad for my kids, but still, to this day, she's still messaging him. She says that she isn't sending him photos, but there's no trust left. I don't know what we are anymore. Technically, we're still married, but how can I be with someone like that? I still love her, but I can't be with someone like this. Still, I don't want to see my kids hurt over something that their mom has done. Any suggestions? Please let me know because I feel trapped, It's messing with me mentally and emotionally. How can someone say they love you but be okay with you being sad and hurt? And why would you cause all this pain for someone you've never met?
It always amazes me how someone can be so unhappy in a relationship, but rather than leave, they sneak around behind their partner's back. Getting cheated on is super painful. It's not an experience I'd wish on anyone. I appreciate the fact that it's hard to leave someone when you love them, but in a situation like this, OP's wife has already checked out of the relationship. If OP chooses to stick around, his wife will most likely continue talking to other guys. It won't be long before she finds someone closer to where they live and leave anyway. The fact that she cried over this new dude but wouldn't shed a tear for her husband speaks volumes as to how much she cares. Those are my quick thoughts, but let's see what's going on down in the comment section.
Consistent Patient says, I hope you save the evidence of her cheating, consult a lawyer, and divorce her. I usually hate when people say that straight off the bat, but when it comes to cheating and she's done it repeatedly, there's no coming back from that OP. Trust me, you'll sleep better at night when she's not your responsibility anymore. The fact you've got kids together and she's still doing this is so low. You'll find someone who'll love you and treat you properly. Good luck, OP. When Shy Sly says, you're the one supporting her. Why would she leave? She's cheated multiple times, and at this point, she doesn't even have to stop. She's so comfortable and secure in this life you let her have that she's not even hiding it anymore. To me, this is worse than the cheating itself. She doesn't even respect you enough to really sneak around or lie to spare your feelings. To be blunt, I read someone say that this isn't a difficult choice, it's just difficult to accept. She's already told you to your face that she's not in love with you. What more do you need to finally choose yourself and leave? You think it hurts now what she's doing? Just wait until she finds someone close enough to leave you for, knowing all the times before that you should have just walked away. You really don't need that pain. Gator Bro says, the thing is with children is that they absorb so much more than you will ever know. If you stay with her, they're going to absorb the emotions and feelings that are going on in the house. I'm assuming that they're very toxic now because of what she's done. The kids will emulate that in their future relationships. Do you want them to suffer through the same thing you are? For the sake of your kids and their futures, they'd be better off with happy co-parents instead of you staying with her, creating a toxic environment. Day Active says, by staying with her, you're giving the wrong example of how married people should act. You're showing the kids that the mother can cheat and the father has to put up with it and be unhappy. See a lawyer and get the ball going towards divorce. Your kids will be happier with two parents who are happier apart, not sad when they're together. Also, watch her attitude change when she's served the divorce papers, and she suddenly realizes that you're not going to be there to support her anymore, and that she'll only get to see her kids 50% of the time. Saying that, she probably won't care because she's telling these guys that she's single and doesn't have any kids. You need to get away from this marriage. It will destroy your mental health and will most certainly impact your kids. Please realize that children are not blind or stupid. They will pick up on your feelings and the tension in the house.
What OP is going through is heartbreaking. I can only hope that he's able to find peace in the end, and happiness with someone who'll respect him. For anyone else going through something like this, get help. Don't go through it alone. While things seem tough right now, your life will be better when you find someone who'll be open and honest with you at all times. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.